Good morning. It's Lisa Maxwell. I'm here to offer a reading for, what is today? Wednesday, March 25th. Today we'll be using the Angel Tarot cards by Doreeen Virtue and Radleigh Valentine. Doreeen doesn't um, work her spirituality in this way anymore, but she gifted us with a wonderful. She was, definitely a guiding voice for me at one point, and the cards that she created um, during this phase of her spiritual career remain with me and continue to have much to teach me. I hope they have something to teach you. Being open to understanding that we don't hold all the cards. And even if you do, there's always going to be a different way to interpret them. Right? Being open to not having all the answers. Even when we do these readings, it's not to give us answers and definitive, like, oh, this is, and I think you hear that in what I offer. Hope you do. It's just a way to work with the energies, like what came up yesterday with the King of Cups in reverse, that Four of Cups on the other side with that Two of Wands in between. It was definitely don't react, and to see if we could come toward, and then the Queen of Swords at the end anchoring the reading, showing us that we can use a removed approach and use our communication skills in a different way when things come toward us. So some of the energies that come up, some of the cards that come up may not necessarily be actually something that's pertaining to you, or it might be pertaining to an aspect of you that isn't quite as loud as it used to be or as dominant as it used to be. It may, but you may be having these energies come toward you and be, the energies on, something that's going around you. And it's how we, it's always how we respond. Like, how can we skillfully respond? The Queen of Swords is a skillful communicator. She's going to look at creative ways to communicating. She's very patient because she's, like I said, she's been there, done that. She typically represents an independent woman who has, maybe been married one or two times, maybe has a bunch of kids. She's seen a lot of stuff and she has a lot of insight on how to communicate, how to transform communication, how to transform our thought processes into something that's more creative and less rigid. She's not a rigid person, that's for sure. She will be if she has to be. She must have that sword. She's not going to do it without really needing to go there. And even then, she's going to be very, very compassionate in the way she uses it. She knows how to draw boundaries. She knows how to step back from a situation to gain perspective. So we'll use these, a different deck today, the Angel Tarot cards. Got some other decks here. Oh, what do we have? All right, so we have two cards that have come up, two of the suit of wands. In this deck, the fire element is clearly denoted. So the suit of wands, which was that Two of Wands in the middle of yesterday's reading, is the suit of fire, the element of fire, of action, that, things that ignite us, things that inspire us. Holy Spirit, if you will. The things that we want to move forward, our creative endeavors, that kind of thing. We stoke the fire. It takes patience to continue to stoke a fire. Anybody can start a fire, but it takes tending in order to keep the flame alive. That's something that came up in some readings that I was doing earlier today. So the Ace of Fire has come up here with the Six of Fire. So an exciting new opportunity, career advancement, change your life now. So you're definitely getting, like, something's coming, like whatever is really grabbing your attention today, pay attention to. It doesn't mean that you have to go great guns at it and, take it to its further point, because like I said, anyone can start a fire, but what are you doing to actually, continue to participate in the tending of that fire to keep the flame alive? this could be, and then we have Six of Fire, which is the Six of Wands. This can be, in this deck, victory, good news is on its way, public recognition or awards. Well, if we always go for public recognition and awards, that's always fleeting, right? Anyone can knock you off that horse. So, knowing that like I see this is an individual here in the Ace, knowing that inner fire that is, I think, the most important to continue to stoke and take time to cultivate is the that central core of knowing within yourself that that you feel good about what you're doing. We can't expect other people to always approve of what we're doing, and if we are doing that, we're in people pleasing mode. And again, that's a very slippery slope, and it's never going to end well, right? We can't. That's not sustainable. That's an unsustainable way of keeping a fire alive. Is if we're always, scurrying around. Like if there's always one person at the campfire being warmed by fire, and you're the one scurrying around putting the logs in the fire, but that other person doesn't participate. It takes our participation. It takes equal participation. It's give and take. 6 is also a number of give and take. It's a number of balance. So, we participate, and, it may, in one measure, and sometimes, we're in situations where, sometimes situations grow a little imbalanced for a time, but as everything does, you can't always go to that, or the thing is going to tip over and it's not good. But the scales, the 6 is the number of Venus, of the number of Libra, which again is scales. It's justice. It's equality in relationships. Sometimes, you'll put in a little more than the other partner for a while, but eventually, that balance needs to shift back when it should. So looking for equality in situations is really important, and that's the best way to continue. That if everybody's participating and bringing their gifts to keep the flame alive, then you have something to work with. Then you've got you have that advancement. You're always going to be in that state of growth. You're going to keep the fire growing, and you're not only going to keep it growing for maybe what your close up endeavors, but that's any kind of flame is something inviting and warm for other, to inspire other people, right? To inspire the lives of those around you. So, those are really great cards to come up with today. So maybe some of the things that maybe today is a day to kind of really spend some time, like shedding the light. So fire is also light. Shedding some light on some of the interactions that maybe occurred yesterday, that you can then, be more creative in terms of your approach and thought processes. Maybe shedding the light on the thought processes so you can employ, you can pull in that Queen of Swords energy and, make things, transform things into a place of something that's more equal. But coming into center on the front end of any situation, coming back to center, understanding how you feel, coming from how you are, really getting a good, shedding that light on how you feel. Does this make me feel good? Does this make me feel excited? Is this something I really want to pursue? We don't have to get it all done today, though, right? None of this suggests this is moving towards something. This is taking that and moving towards something. But this horse is not, this horse is walking through, at a very relaxed pace. So it's nothing that we're doing that's going, it's you might feels like, oh good, this is gaining some traction. This feels like the right direction to go. Nothing that has come up in any of the readings this week. There's been maybe a sense of urgency, but there's no call to action or urgency. Whatever, the groundwork has been laid, let things, let yourself be excited by them, but there's no reason to go galloping off and doing anything really. No need for that. In fact, right, slow and steady wins the race. Just keep stoking the fire. Here's another card, 5 of Air. So this is a 5. of Swords in the traditional tarot. The air element is swords. So air is, but adding breath to anything is going to stoke a fire, right? A fire does need some breath. So if you find yourself in this situation, which is an unwise choice, learn what you can from this situation and review it. This is just, this is conflicting ideologies. And again, a card of not moving forward by any means. It doesn't mean it's a deal breaker, but it just means that continue, stoking your own inner fire, understand more about your own, like where you might have conflicting thoughts about things. Like, there might be, this is a card of, it's just an unwise time to make any sort of like forward decisions. Things need a different kind of look. We need some more insights. We need we need to clean up our thoughts about it. One thing that came across my radar was a quote from Rudolf Steiner, meaning, never speak of the limits of cognition in mankind, but of your own. In other words, stay in your own lane. Stay in your own lane. If you're getting entangled in thinking about like what other people should be doing or talking about what other people should be doing, and that's either whether it's you're verbally actually doing this or whether it's just it's a mind, again, this is the suit of air, this is the swords, these are thoughts. I didn't check where Mercury was in Pisces or what it's before I got on, but check your, it's not a time to be making any types of decisions. This is a time to get clarity of thought. And this is conflict of thought and perspective. Change your own perspective. Get clear on what your own perspective is. Reviewing everybody's motives, like taking it for what it is, but not making any decisions about it, because more is to be revealed. That's another one that came up. Another quote that, again, these like little pieces of paper just kind of turned up this morning, was a quote from Maya Angelou. Even when mistakes happen, they no longer feel like personal failures. They become part of the learning process rather than evidence of inadequacy. So be gentle with yourself. Like, some of your old thought processes are probably getting in the way of being in this kind of energy. But instead, we take that breath and we can, gently use that to stoke the fire and continue to use our own breath to kind of help us understand and guide us to where we want to go. Like, these guys are all like, they're all looking at one another like really super suspiciously. And I think that lowering the horns, being less suspicious about what's going on, is going to keep us in this type of energy rather than making decisions from what's probably an old operating system, like thought processes that are well outdated, that are just not even useful anymore. But that's within ourselves too, right? We can't just be pointing the fingers, pointing our horns at other people. It's probably happening. Take an honest look. Be honest. 5 of air. That again, this is, and 5 is actually thought processes. It's the number of Mercury, which is why I brought that up. And then we also have the 6 of air. So things are looking up. So we're moving out of this kind of energy, which is the central card of the reading. Can either be entangled in all of that, like our thoughts all in a swirl because of what this one's doing or that one isn't doing or what they've never done. And instead, we're going to the 6 of air, which comes back to that equality. Taking a trip, going on a journey. So taking our thoughts and actually saying, okay, we're going to move it over into this arena. We're going to move to a different direction. I'm going to take things to a different place to find a different perspective. Maybe you're pulling in help to get there, because this horse couldn't get over all of this. Is like kind of a waterfall that they're trying to traverse. They certainly wouldn't be able to, maneuver this boat. This horse would never be able to maneuver that boat by itself. So you might have some, like, out of this might come some, like, okay, I've got a good idea. Let's leave all of this behind we're leaving these guys behind. We're going to take this one focus and move forward to create more equality, to create more balance, but we're going to need some help to get there. Typically the Six of Air, which is the Six of Swords, it has a person with, you know, kind of steering a boat, or a person in a boat, and that boat's being steered by someone else. This horse doesn't have any, it's trusting that this boat's going to get where it needs to go. So there's a lot of trust involved in this. There's a lot of trust involved. And then bottom of the deck, Page of Earth, scholarly, dependable, patient, successful. Yeah, wanting to do something more challenging, a new area of study. So this is, again, this is being in a learning mode. This is messages about things that, you know, things that we're going to start learning about, that are about things that matter to us. The Earth is the element here, which is this is the suit of Pentacles, and Pentacles is value. This is a young energy. This is embarking on something new, saying, you know, I'm going to take, I have a lot of beauty here that I have to offer, and I want to grow my beauty in a different endeavor. I want to learn something new. I want new approaches. I want to, you know, improve upon what matters to me. And whether that is, you know, you're doing it with other people, it doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, again, this is an individual that it keeps moving forward. You're doing this for you, first and foremost. And as a benefit, it benefits others in the doing, regardless of whether you see that or not. And it just opens up a whole new arena for you. So that's the reading for today. I'm going to leave it at that. Now, actually, I am going to pull one more card from the Gemstones and Crystals deck. Oh my God, there's a bunch of cards in here. Who does this deck? I don't even know. Made in Belgium. I'll put it in the comments or whatever. Guarantee. Yeah, there are no guarantees, so there's a lot of faith that we're working with. But there's a guarantee of nothing if we don't put down our swords. Regardless, go towards what excites us in a calm manner, calm and loving manner. A lot of love in the suit of Wands. These are things that we love, things that we value. Venus is in the sign of Aries, so we're going to be really sparked up by what we value. And then we turn things into what really matters. We're starting to turn. We're going to put our stock and our energy and our education. We want to learn more about what matters to us and how to preserve that, rather than getting into these really stuck places with the 5. So the card that comes up as a crystal to work with is the Page of Cups and rhodochrosite. Again, this is self-love. Whatever it is that you truly love, stoke that fire. Keep stoking it. Trust. Page of Cups, again, love. This is spiritually driven messages about what it is that you love, and protect that. Do what you can to protect that. Don't let old thought processes get in your way of having the things that you love.